The embers, flames right alongside, the situation growing worse by the second as people evacuate to safety. Well, we wondered who captured that video and how he is and where he is, so we have tracked him down. His name, Michel Chamberlain. We can tell you he is safe with his parents in Edmonton, and we are thankful for that, and very thankful to talk to him. Michel, good morning. You're on the telephone with me. Thank you for being on our program today.
Hello.
Hello. I want to hear your story. We've been hearing some really incredible stories, and yours among the most amazing. Before we get to the video, I just would like you to set things up for our viewers. Just before you took those pictures, you'd come off work, the overnight shift in your oil company, you get into your house, and you get a phone call. What did that phone call tell you?
Chamberlain lives in the Beacon Hill neighborhood of Fort McMurray, an area not more than 3/4 destroyed. He works the overnight shift at an oil company, so he was asleep Tuesday afternoon when he got a call from a friend to get out. He grabbed a few things and left in his truck, filming from the front and back cameras. He let his office know he wouldn't be in that night.
Hey, Michelle.
At several points, you can see embers from the fire had landed across the street, lighting new fires near the houses. As he drove on, embers started falling on his truck and on the vehicles of those around him. He said he could feel the pressure to try to get out of there, and the view looking backward was even more hellish. Finally, he sees the smoke clearing ahead of him and calls a friend.
I was driving out, the flames are right next to you. I can feel it.
Emerged about the harrowing escapes from the flames that overtook Fort McMurray. I'll show you some video now of just how close the fire got to some vehicles on the highway, including that bus as it was trying to head to a work camp. The scene difficult enough, and now we're learning that what happened to that bus after this was even more frightening for the people on board. One of the passengers spoke to us about the ordeal, telling us he was running for his life when the bus caught fire.
We were sitting there and the flames just kept getting closer and closer, and next thing you know, we seen the trailers on fire, and so we were all getting nervous, and then while we were sitting there and we're not moving, not moving in traffic, we're just all on a standstill. The flames, you could start seeing ash starting to hit the side of the bus, like landing in front, and then all of a sudden the grass in between the two highways was catching on fire, and then all of a sudden the flames got so close that they were touching the bus, and so we all were in panic mode, and we got the bus driver. We were like, get off the side of the road. And so all the cars that were in front of us and the big bus that we were on, a diversity bus, we all peeled off to the right down the embankment, like trying to get off the road. Flames were
going, but I need to show you, it's not just on the border. This is Fort McMurray burning this afternoon, Donna. We're right in the thick of it. This is Highway 63, the main corridor, and we're in downtown. We're not far from a fire station, to be honest, and the hospital. But we also saw up the way, this is Highway 63, the fire seems to be burning across the highway. So people who are trying to go southbound on Highway 63 here to get away from all of this now are likely having to turn around. But Donna, look at that. Like that, even in the past 5 minutes, has just flared up. And to be honest, I'm not sure how long we'll be able to stay here, but it shows how quickly things are changing.
Can you give us an idea, how does this year compare to other years? It seems to be starting quite quickly in the year and out of control very soon.
It is. We're probably about a month and a half ahead of schedule. This is the kind of conditions we see later in May, but we're as I said, about a month and a half early, and that's due to the very limited snowfall and the light precip we had over most of the province during the last part of the winter, which has allowed things to dry up a lot quicker.
And how would you say the current, very warm conditions, how does that play into this situation? I mean, we're hitting almost 30 degrees
We were doing that sort of at the end of April. Now it's May. Does that affect the situation?
Absolutely. The weather plays a huge factor, which is why it's very difficult to predict what the wildfire season is going to be like, but hot and dry is wildfire weather.
Okay, Matthew Anderson, thank you so much for joining us. Matthew Anderson is an information officer with the province about the fires. Well, our CBC crews are on scene as people are leaving Fort McMurray. You can see the sheer panic setting in, as well as frustration and acceptance. Take a look.
What's going on? I got a mess.
Where are you? Are you in one of the neighborhoods, or what's your thoughts if you're looking at all this?
Oh, this is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Can you believe how fast it's grown? It
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
just this morning, was it?
No, it wasn't. Wow. Sorry, guys. Thank you.
Well, it's a disaster, and I find that that's not fair. They didn't even let us take our things, and when we asked them, so we lost everything now.
Where's your house?
It was at the campsite.
That's it right there.
Yeah. We asked the cops the other day, 2 days ago, to take our things out, and they wouldn't let us. We only have what we have on our backs.
Can I get your name?
My name is Joanne.
Spell your last name?
Joanne Bates.
Spell it for me. Just
B-A-T-E-S. And my boyfriend, John.
Hi, John. Sorry to see what's happening. What do you think about what's going on here, guys?
Oh, it's a disaster. Everything I worked for the last 2 years, it's all gone in smoke now. The thing I'm not too impressed about is the officers who kicked us out of the park area when we could have just jumped in the RV and started up and leave. They didn't let us do that, so we're not too impressed with the officers in this town. I know they're doing such a good job right now, but because they didn't let us leave, we're not happy for them. Yes, we've been living at the campground for a year now, and everything was fine till this moment.
What was there?
I had an RV, like Class A motorhome. I also have a side-by-side, brand new side-by-side, another vehicle, Honda Ridgeline, it all blew in smoke. 2 Ski-Doos. No, actually, it's gone now. It probably blew by now. It was the second one to blow in the fire.
It's the national news. Just hold on, I'm recording audio.
Shoot this. I'll get the deer ready to feed it.
Okay, thanks, Brian.
Fucking insane. Fort McMurray, 2016, May 3rd. Fort McMurray's burning down. Bye-bye, the oldest subdivision of Fort McMurray.
That's what they're talking about. The fire's coming out of the ground.
Hasty exit. That might have been the last time. Might have been the last time I ever saw my house right there. Holy time to make a hasty exit, eh? last time I ever saw my house. I know it. Insurance, you better do me good. I just lost my house. No big deal.
Time lapse. These places are built to be non-flammable. Remember that. What is that?
And you have down in Thailand. Go.
No, it's not a power pole.
I mean, we've had 4 significant fires in the last 5 days or so that's pretty intense.
You don't see much sign of this fire this morning. Thankfully, the cool temperatures overnight have helped firefighters, but make no doubt it is likely still burning behind me.
Hasty exit. That might have been the last time. Might have been the last time I ever saw my house right there.
It's like Armageddon here. There's nobody on the road. Nothing. Absolutely nobody.
Cars are burnt. There's people on the side of the road with crying babies and dogs and broken cars and no gas and no food. And it's like it's in a movie. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
All Albertans are watching this. All Albertans are with the people of Fort McMurray.
The end of days. Literally. If you look around, there's people panicking. But I need to show you, it's not just on the border. This is Fort McMurray burning this afternoon. We're right in the thick of it. This is Highway 63, the main corridor, and we're in downtown. We're not far from a fire station, to be honest.
This is insane. Holy. Oh, you can feel the heat. Holy shit. This is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was just automatic panic, fear. I'm thankful that we got out alive, but I lost a lot.
We successfully evacuated 88,000 people.
The tour of Fort McMurray begins where flames first rushed in, where the fire they call the Beast breached the town.
We're in a place called Beacon Hill right now. Unfortunately, not that much left of it.
The neighborhood is more than half gone. It is the same in the streets up the hill. This wildfire has rewritten the book, says the fire chief, unprecedented in the path it traveled and the destruction it caused.
It jumped the Athabasca River, which is 120 feet wide. So this was a beast. It was an animal.
Just to show you the vast impact of this, there are dozens of media on this bus, and as we turned the corner, it went silent, and you could hear people say, "Oh my God," the impact of this is just incredibly, incredibly hard to take.
Getting here, there's nobody on the road, nothing, absolutely nobody. There's not one vehicle on the road. There's a few, service vehicles like police cars and fire trucks, but they're just kind of, they're in a daze. I think they've just been going non-stop. We stay in Kimberley, which is basically on the north side of town. The fire came from the south side of town. We have a big schoolyard behind us, which is a huge barrier compared to us where the greenbelt is, where the fire would have happened. And the fire actually didn't even hit there. It went directly right around us like a horseshoe. You only saw the smoke, you couldn't see the flames unless you were on top of the roof of the house.
Now, aluminum oxide nanoparticles and barium nanoparticles, these just happen to be the same materials that they use in nanothermate explosives. And so when this stuff settles down out of the air into the environment, it is small enough to be absorbed through the root structure of the trees in the forest. And so when there's a forest fire, and there will be a forest fire, those fires burn dramatically hotter. The point is that the cost of firefighting, the cost in the healthcare system have nearly doubled in the last 10 years. The amount of acreage is lost because of fires. The impact on human health is dramatic.
Every problem in this country, the blame rests on state control.
We understand there are a few hundred firefighters working on this blaze, but they were simply overwhelmed by how quickly it spread earlier today. It was fueled by wind and all of the dry conditions. Tonight, this city is practically a ghost town because everyone has been ordered out. It was chaos and confusion.
Nobody seems to know anything. It's very, very poor as usual. They got music playing on the radios and nobody knows what to do. It's a terrible situation.
Late afternoon, a fire that has been burning for a few days suddenly and dramatically grew. It was whipped up by strong gusts of wind. A wall of flame lapped at the side of Highway 63 and jumped the city's major thoroughfare. Tens of thousands were ordered to leave.
The fire jumped the river, and we had basically 2 minutes to get home, grab our stuff, and we had to leave.
And it was gridlock as they tried to get out of the city. The fire ripped into some neighborhoods, destroying homes.
Holy look at that! Roll your window up. It's over that way. Holy
It's a disaster, and I find that that's not fair. They didn't even let us take our things, and when we asked them,